Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
Cowboys save $100 million in free agency to keep the Holy Trinity together. The Dallas Cowboys have been thrifty spenders this offseason. They have done their usual minuscule dabbling in outside free agents, signing Eric Kendricks, Ezekiel Elliott, and Royce Freeman. Let's be real here, nobody is getting up from their seat for those acquisitions. You've heard of ROUS, rodents of unusual size. These are sons, signings of no significance. The lack of free agent spending on outside players is par for the course for this front office, but the unwillingness to retain some of their own guys has some a little perturbed. Several starters and key rotational players are playing somewhere else this upcoming season. Here's the list of Cowboys players who have left in free agency and their price tags. In all, 8 players have left at a total cost of nearly $100 million. Should they all play out the full duration of their contracts? When you stop and think about it, that's a lot of cap space. Sure, some of it is spread over multiple years, but $100 million is $100 million. Not paying those players does open the door to other possibilities. As we have seen, those other possibilities do not include a shopping spree to acquire free agents from other teams. The Cowboys aren't interested in that. Outside free agents are like a juicy deluxe cheeseburger. We'd love to have one and it makes us feel happy in the moment, but deep down, we know it's not good for us. Many people will still prefer the cheeseburgers, but the Cowboys are the vegans of the NFL. It should be stated that the Cowboys are willing to spend money. Weird narratives have gone around to the contrary, and those shouldn't be in our headspace. Jerry Jones' lack of free agent spending isn't because he's cheap and wants to pocket the savings. That's not how things work. The Cowboys use their allocated cap space. Additionally, Jerry is not using his roster funds to feed his other non-football investments, giving him greater overall profits. We should be clear about this. The Cowboys spend their money, and Jerry Jones wants to win, but it is fair to criticize them for how they go about it. Are they doing the things that give them the best chance to win? Many say no. Cowboys are top spot for former $96 million Pro Bowl receiver, analyst. The Dallas Cowboys have had a quiet offseason and are receiving plenty of suggestions for potential moves. Dallas released starting receiver Michael Gallup in March 2024 and have done little to replace the veteran. ESPN's Matt Bowen put together the top landing spots for the best remaining free agents. The analyst has the Cowboys as the top potential landing spot for former New Orleans Saints star receiver Michael Thomas. When healthy, Thomas can still uncover and work multiple levels of the field, Bowen wrote in a May 20, 2024 story titled Best NFL Team Fits for Remaining Free Agents, Trade Candidates. However, the injury concerns are legit, as the 31-year-old wide receiver has played in just 20 games over the past 4 seasons. And while Thomas could wait until after camp start to find the best landing spot, let's focus on Dallas as a possibility. He could make an impact there on a 1-year deal. In Mike McCarthy's offense, Thomas could compete with Jalen Tolbert for the number 3 role alongside CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks, Bowen continued. He could align as a boundary X and show his ability to work the seams out of the slot. He caught 39 passes in 2023 for 448 yards and a score. Cowboys rumors. Could Dallas buy low on former Saints star receiver Michael Thomas? The player that Thomas is at 31 years old may be a bit below his impressive resume as a 3-time Pro Bowler and 2-time All-Pro. After topping 1,000 receiving yards in his first 4 NFL seasons, Thomas has not reached 500 yards since 2019. Thomas's best season came in 2019 when the wideout notched career highs with 149 catches for 1,725 yards and 9 touchdowns in 16 games. Thomas posted modest numbers in 2023, 39 receptions for 448 yards and a touchdown in 10 appearances. Yet the Cowboys would not be signing Thomas with the idea that the playmaker would still be a number 1 receiving option. Dallas already has CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks on the roster, meaning Thomas would likely be sliding into the 3rd receiver role. The Cowboys' production after Lamb and Cooks drops off quickly on the team's current receiver depth chart. The Cowboys appear to be banking on Jalen Tolbert or Kayvontae Turpin to take a step forward in 2024. Thomas would be much more of a proven commodity than either player, even if his production has dropped in recent years. Cowboys rumors. Dallas could likely land Michael Thomas on a bargain contract. It remains to be seen what kind of contract Thomas will command this offseason. Thomas previously signed a 5-year, $90 $96.2 million contract with New Orleans that was slated to run through 2024. The receiver later inked a new 2-year contract with the Saints in 2023. The deal essentially became a 1-year, $10 million contract, voiding the remainder of his lucrative deal. New Orleans released Thomas in March as a post-June 1st cut, and the veteran has yet to agree to terms with a new team. Thomas finished last season on injured reserve with a knee injury. Consider Gallup's production in Dallas last season: 34 receptions for 418 yards and 2 touchdowns. It is reasonable to expect Thomas to be able to surpass this production, assuming the wideout's health checks out. At 6'3", 212 pounds, Thomas would also give Dallas a big red zone target. Cowboys' 26-year-old veteran named best player who could be cut. Like other teams in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys will have to make some tough cuts before the season starts. Teams are allowed to carry 90 players on its roster during training camp and will be forced to trim down to 53 players before the start of the season. As Bleacher Report's David Kenyon writes in his list of best players who could be cut from teams before the start of the 2024 season, he mentions defensive lineman Chauncey Golston of the Cowboys. The turnover on the defensive line, in theory, is a good thing for Chauncey Golston. Dallas moved on from Jonathan Hankins and Neville Gallimore, vacating plenty of snaps up front, writes Kenyon. But the Cowboys will undoubtedly give rookies Justin Rogers and Denzel Jackson a long look. Chauncey Golston has served as key Cowboys backup. The 26-year-old Golston is on the verge of entering his 4th season in Dallas after the team selected him with a 3rd-round draft pick in 2021. While the 6'5" defensive lineman has never been a starter for the Cowboys, he has served as a viable backup during all 3 of his seasons in Dallas. Golston has racked up at least 22 tackles in each of the past 3 seasons while missing just 4 total games. Golston appeared in 41% of the defensive snaps during the 2021 season before playing 23% of the defensive snaps in 2022 and 29% of the defensive snaps in 2023. The University of Iowa alum is about to enter the final year of his rookie contract. Through 3 seasons, Golston holds career totals of 79 tackles and 9 quarterback hits to go along with 3.5 sacks in 47 games played and 3 games started. According to Pro Football Focus, Golston posted respectable grades across the board, including a 66.8 defensive grade and 75.0 pass rushing grade, ranking 43rd of 130 qualifying players at his position. The Cowboys could still cut Chauncey Golston, however. As Kenyon mentions, the Cowboys do have a number of options along the defensive line, including the addition of 7th-round draft pick Justin Rogers and undrafted free agent Denzel Jackson. This actually isn't the first time Golston's name has been mentioned as a potential cut candidate this offseason. Sayer Bettinger of Fansided also mentioned Golston as a veteran who could lose their roster spot to a rookie back in March. When I said earlier that the Cowboys have been loyal to guys, I think Chauncey Golston is a great example, writes Bettinger. This is a former 3rd-round pick who has really not done anything of note for the Cowboys, and the team has even had to reload on the defensive line to supplement his lack of development as a former top 100 pick. If the Cowboys were to release Golston this offseason, the dead cap hit would be minimal at $233,925. Their cap savings would be $1.3 million. Considering Golston is not an overly valuable member of the Cowboys' defensive line rotation, Dallas could opt to keep 1 or 2 of the rookies and cut Golston from the roster. These types of moves happen every season as veteran players are pushed out the door for younger and cheaper players who have more potential.